India is rapidly emerging as a pivotal player in the intricate web of global geopolitics. As the world transitions towards a more multipolar order, India's strategic importance has grown significantly. No longer content with a passive role, India is actively shaping the international agenda, asserting its influence alongside established powers like the United States, China, and the European Union. This newfound prominence stems from India's burgeoning economy, its large and increasingly skilled population, and its growing military capabilities. India's rise has not gone unnoticed. The international community is closely watching India's moves, recognizing its potential to sway the balance of power in key regions. From the bustling trade routes of the Indian Ocean to the emerging strategic landscape of the Arctic, India's presence is being felt. This presents both opportunities and challenges for India as it navigates a complex geopolitical chessboard. India's foreign policy, once characterized by non-alignment, has undergone a significant transformation in recent years. While maintaining its commitment to strategic autonomy, India has forged closer partnerships with like-minded nations, particularly the United States. This shift is driven by shared concerns over China's assertive rise and the need for a stable and rules-based international order. As India continues its ascent, its actions will have far-reaching consequences. Its success in balancing its own interests with those of its partners will be crucial in shaping the future of global geopolitics. The world is watching, eager to see how India will wield its growing influence on the world stage. India's relationship with the United States has emerged as a cornerstone of its foreign policy in the 21st century. Under the second Trump administration, this partnership is expected to strengthen further, fueled by converging geopolitical interests. Both nations see eye to eye on the need to counter China's growing assertiveness in the Indo-Pacific region and beyond. This shared concern has translated into increased defense cooperation, joint military exercises, and intelligence sharing between the two countries. The economic dimension of the India-US relationship is equally important. The US remains India's largest trading partner, and bilateral trade between the two countries continues to grow. However, potential trade friction points remain, particularly in areas such as tariffs and market access. Managing these economic differences will be crucial to ensure that the overall relationship remains on a positive trajectory. The strengthening of India-US ties has not gone unnoticed in India's neighborhood. China, in particular, views this growing partnership with a wary eye. India's closer alignment with the US is seen by Beijing as a potential threat to its own regional ambitions. Pakistan, India's long-standing rival, also observes these developments with concern, fearing further isolation in the region. India's challenge lies in balancing its burgeoning partnership with the US while managing its complex relationships with its neighbors. New Delhi seeks to avoid being seen as taking sides in the US-China rivalry. Instead, India aims to maintain its strategic autonomy and pursue its own interests, even as it deepens cooperation with the US on issues of shared concern. This delicate balancing act will require deft diplomacy and a pragmatic approach to navigating the complexities of regional geopolitics. While geographically distant from the Arctic, India recognizes the strategic importance of this rapidly transforming region. As climate change accelerates the melting of Arctic ice, new shipping routes are opening up, and access to the region's vast natural resources is becoming increasingly feasible. This has turned the Arctic into an arena of geopolitical competition, drawing in major powers like the US, China, Russia, and NATO. India, despite its geographical distance, is keen to be a part of the Arctic equation. It sees the Arctic as a potential source of energy resources, minerals, and opportunities for scientific research. To advance its interests, India has adopted a policy of engaging with Arctic states through diplomacy, scientific collaboration, and investment in infrastructure projects. India's Arctic strategy focuses on securing access to the region through collaboration rather than confrontation. It has established research stations in the Arctic and actively participates in multilateral forums like the Arctic Council. India's approach emphasizes the importance of environmental protection and sustainable development in the Arctic, aligning with its own climate change concerns. However, India's ambitions in the Arctic face challenges. particularly from the growing alignment between Russia and China. Russia, with its long Arctic coastline, views the region as its own backyard and is wary of increased foreign involvement. China, despite lacking any territorial claims in the Arctic, has declared itself a near-Arctic state and is rapidly expanding its presence in the region. This budding Russia-China axis in the Arctic could limit India's room for maneuver and complicate its efforts to secure its interests. India's geopolitical ascent is unfolding against the backdrop of a rapidly evolving global landscape. Several megatrends are reshaping the contours of international relations, presenting both opportunities and challenges for India. One such trend is the push for resilient and diversified supply chains. The COVID-19 pandemic exposed the vulnerabilities of globally interconnected economies, prompting countries to seek greater self-reliance. This trend aligns with India's own Atmanirbhar Bharat, Self-Reliant India initiative, which aims to boost domestic manufacturing and reduce dependence on foreign imports. Another key megatrend is the rapid advancement of artificial intelligence. India, with its burgeoning tech sector and large pool of skilled engineers, is well positioned to become a major player in the global AI landscape. However, India's AI policies will need to navigate the complexities of US-China competition in this domain, balancing the need for innovation with concerns about ethics, privacy, and security. Climate change poses an existential threat to the entire planet, and India is particularly vulnerable to its impacts. From rising sea levels to more frequent and intense heat waves, India faces a multitude of climate-related challenges. India's climate policies, therefore, will need to balance the imperatives of economic growth and energy security with the urgency of transitioning to a more sustainable development model. The growing importance of the oceans as geostrategic assets is another significant megatrend. India, with its long coastline and strategic location astride critical maritime routes, has a vital stake in ensuring maritime security. This includes safeguarding its own maritime interests, combating piracy and terrorism at sea, and securing access to critical sea lanes of communication. India's ability to navigate these global megatrends and adapt to the evolving geopolitical landscape will be crucial in determining its future trajectory. The choices India makes today will have long-lasting consequences, not only for its own people, but for the wider international community.